It's always that. And it is time for us to come back to see you. It's another Saturday night, but not just any Saturday night. It's the Saturday night before James gets to go outside in public and not scare the crap out of kids. They'll just think of him as just a normal guy. KG
Yeah,
can
I'm gonna have on a mask like everybody else, so they be all right. They just need to make sure they got the right kind of candy I like.
Well, you're scaring them already, so trust me, a mask would be a plus. KG can get to go out and wear his hair however he wants without getting threatened with the beat down. And I can wear my shirt proudly because it'd be a crime to take this shirt off and show them how sexy I look. So needless to say, it is a Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs. For the three of us, we're all pumped for everything wrestling, and sports entertainment. But more importantly, it's All Hallows Eve, baby. Hit it.
Okay. I set myself up for that. Okay, I ain't even gonna mention what it was, but I set myself up for that. So okay, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing else. I done popped off that shit. I was like, this motherfucker.
Oh God, I'm crying. Oh man, I'm only naked mofo right now, huh?
Okay.
Y'all had to get the sumo version of Blue Steel. Oh God.
This motherfucker that did a deep dive on my shit.
Mine too.
I mean, he put on scuba gear to find that one.
Man, he went back 5 years and found that one of me.
Oh, he went back at least 15 for the mine.
Look,
what
James,
can I say except you're welcome?
Look, I ain't got nothing to do with that. He sent it to me. He says, "Don't look at it. Just load it up." Okay, so I emailed. I was like, "I'm gonna go ahead and take care of his wishes. I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna be surprised."
You trusted this bastard.
Hey, man, you need to look at.
He told you to do that for a reason.
My
he got me all right.
To that,
he got me all right because I forgot all about that picture.
You know what? Hold on. You know that shit was so good. Run it again.
No.
Run it again.
No.
Run it again. Press the button.
No.
Okay. Hopefully y'all saw the credit.
And then you gonna condone the bullshit.
I'm not responsible, but
you don't condone the bullshit.
How about I make it up to you,
James?
And how in the world you plan on doing that?
Let me.
Who in the blue hell? What are you looking like that for? Because you was channeling something. I mean, please do explain. Please see, puff it, and blow it out. There you go. You need to testify on this one, cuz. Get it out.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that old what you put out there in social media stays in social media. So it's good to know that.
Oh, I had no intention of taking it off. I just forgot about it. I didn't think it would be used against me and shit on a podcast like this. But hey, look who I'm dealing with.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember the No T-Shirt Club has officially become 3 members.
No, that has 1 member.
I was at the pool. No. Thank you very much.
Y'all have made 2 appearances in 1 show.
I was at the
Congratulations.
pool. I was working late.
Club. There's only 3 of us.
I was working late.
Let me go ahead and check BJ's Facebook. Who knows?
Oh shit.
well, after all that crazy,
I need a drink.
Away, then you definitely gonna need some of that.
Well, let me do my part to make it up to the Nubian Sumo.
Are you gonna bring him in?
Of course I am. I'm gonna do it right too.
Oh, well, if you're gonna do it right, that means that you're gonna hit the button, but when we get to James, you're gonna pause it.
There is no pause button. There is no pause button.
No, there's always a pause button. Sumo, I see you representing today with the hoodie. Go ahead and spread your love.
Well, as I've just shown everybody, I just got me a brand new bottle of 1792 small batch. Very tasty, very tasty beverage.
The thing looks like you got some weight to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very heavy. And then I also have the Monte Cristo Artisan Series 50th anniversary TTA tonight.
Looking good.
And the reason why I'm not going to be on next week is it is my college homecoming, and I'm representing my school. So Eagle Pride, amplified.
All right. Now, KG, I don't want you to feel left out. So at what point did you think it was okay to post a half-naked picture of your ass on social media?
This is a family show. I was at the pool, number 1. We were celebrating my daughter's birthday, number 1. Number 2, this is a family show. So I don't give a shit about social media shit. I'll take it off and bury it.
Whatever.
Shit, I used to be a stripper. Back in the day, man. How you think I put myself through high school?
We're going to hit it through about 2 more times this show, so just be prepared. We're going to make sure that y'all get all of your mentionables out there. So if you missed it the first 2 times, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get it again. But either way, it's the first segment is going to be That's Just Nubian, but for James to go first, it has to be something big. And it's big, but at the same time, it's kind of, Perry, you don't have to worry. I'm good tonight. These niggas already naked. Oops, did I pull a Booker T? My bad. I was thinking about Hogan.
Yeah, you pulled a Booker T.
Yes, high school.
Moment in the sun.
Yeah, yes, high school. If it wasn't for the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez, I'd still be stripping.
You're welcome.
He saved me.
It's not the
watching the dance convince you to get out of the game.
He taught me that I could play video games, meet women, and get paid to do it.
Yeah,
and I got to keep my clothes on too.
Notice there was no mention of work in there at all.
Man, I was your best worker.
Well, we didn't do that much.
Don't pull the curtain back too far, James. For real.
Kayfabe's dead.
Yeah.
It was only work when you were assigned to NBA Tonight.
I never got inside NBA Tonight. Right. I always had NFL Tonight.
You gonna rebound for me, man? Fine, whatever. Cute thing.
And then they miss every time.
Mm-hmm.
Bums.
Man, I was killing it in high school. You killed it now, for real. But either way, as I was saying,
Michael Vick still owes me from NBA tonight.
Say it again.
Michael Vick still owes me money from NBA tonight.
He ain't paying you, even though he got a better.
I know he ain't. I know he ain't. That's why I almost put him in jail.
He took that money and
that's a story for another. That's a story for another day.
He took that money and allegedly made a couple, canine bets. Allegedly, but allegedly, that's just Nubian is leading off the show because we have to say goodbye to a promotion that has been around for quite some time, something that has produced quite a few huge talents that have gone over to other promotions and done phenomenal. And then there's also been some that have just been homegrown and stayed tried and true. So for those that don't know, unfortunately, we lost Ring of Honor this past week. They have closed their doors, let the contracts to be open to do whatever they need, no non-competes, anything like that. And recently they have put up their library for sale. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. So this edition of That's Just Nubian, starting off our Halloween edition, is going to be dedicated to Ring of Honor and, just some of the good times and things like that. So if you have any strong remembrances or favorite moments of Ring of Honor, feel free to put in the comment section. We'll definitely love to, recognize them, touch bases on it. But I'll turn everything over to Mr. Eagle Pride over there. And, Zoolander is what we're going to call him for tonight. Nubian Sumo.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But that's what you do to me tonight.
Oh, you want to lead him in? I'm sorry.
Said it 3 times. This is horse shit.
It is?
3
I guess
times.
there's only one thing to do. I'm sorry. I apologize, KG. You might as well just hit the damn button again.
Nah, we're not doing that again.
Hit the button.
You're not going to set me.
Hit the button.
You're not going to set me up.
One job tonight. Hit the button. I gave you a perfect segue. Just hit the button.
No.
Why?
I can't do it. Because, look, I'm already in trouble with the Nubian Sumo. So, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm in trouble with the wife all the time that she's talking about you can't take your shirt off. You half naked now.
She sees me with my shirt off on a regular basis. Before we got on here, I had my shirt off.
Hit the button, Hammy. Never got time for you. DBZ it up. Sumo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as only he can do it, remembering Ring of Honor, it's the Nubian Sumo. And he says from the bottom of his heart, hi, Keisha.
So you're going to hit the button now so that when he was looking at Keisha. We get it now. Hit the button. I would hit the button like 15 times, James. You lucky I'm not.
I know. We would never have a show fucking with your ass anyway.
That's why he can't run the board.
Right. Yeah. That's why you're not on the boards. Well, it is unfortunate that we have heard about the impending demise of Ring of Honor. Organization that's been around since 2002. Started their first shows in the 2300 Arena, based out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Yep.
And still have their offices there. There was a recent Zoom call that was made by the CEO Joe Koff, who is an executive with Sinclair Broadcasting. And they said to explain the specifics as to how everything is going to go down. And I'll be referencing the Sports Illustrated story that came out recently from, what's his name? Justin Barrasso. So if you want to reference what I'm talking about, what I'm reading off here, you can go to sportsillustrated.com and read the story for yourself. It states that the Zoom call included everyone released from their It included everyone being released from their contracts. Not everyone from the roster, however, was on the call, including some of the top talent. And they're unaware, and they may still be, well, at this point, they may already know, but at that point, they weren't aware of everything that was going on. So Sports Illustrated confirms that multiple sources that the contracts expiring on or before March 31st of 2022 will be paid out for the duration of their deal. Contracts extending beyond the 31st of March will necessitate an individual meeting between the talent and Sinclair management, most likely to come to terms on a buyout. So, but everything will be done as of the end of the year. Now, they are still talking about having an event in April, and it looks like they're just trying to revamp and maybe rename and just try to do change up because they're trying to get out of their deal with Sinclair. So especially now that Sinclair has pretty much bought out or helped with the Fox deal, with the sports Fox deal. Yep. So I think they're trying to work in that vein. It's almost like with the Time Warner WCW thing. It's lost its flavor. They've chewed the bubblegum so long. It's lost its flavor, and now they're ready to spit it out. Yep. So that's what this looks like is happening right now with this. Again, all of their deals and whatnot that they've had will be terminated. All the talent will be able to go off to where they feel like they want to go. I'm excited for that because I've been waiting for the Briscoes to break out and go to other places here for a very long time. And now that they're the Game Changer Wrestling Tag Team Champions, it's already gotten started. And there's already a top 5 list that I read on Yahoo earlier today from five teams that people want to see come out of AEW and wrestle the Briscoes. So it's already gotten started. So between the Briscoes and Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham and Matt Taven and a bunch of others that are on that roster that I want to see go and do some other things in some other companies. It's going to be interesting. So hopefully they'll be able to work something out to where they'll be able to return maybe under another name or under some new management or ownership or something of that nature. Like you were saying, like Don was saying, there's too much history behind Ring of Honor. There's too much talent that has come from Ring of Honor that it should go away like it has. I mean, at least we got a waning period with ECW. You know, they got bought out by WWE and became WWECW and did whatever they did with that. But at least we had time to actually mourn its death. But right now, it's just, you know, it's already flatlined pretty much at this point. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, if they do come back, they'll keep all of their champions. And we won't have to go through a whole bunch of tournaments and craziness. So hopefully that won't happen. But we'll see what happens with that. Now, Don did give me some homework. So he asked me to give some honorable mentions or some top folks that need to be recognized as far as the history of Ring of Honor is concerned and the important and who brought them to their prominence as where they are today. So
I had to make up for the Blue Steel that was going to be aired tonight. So you know, if I'm gonna let you lead, I got to make sure that you know you shine.
You're still an asshole for that, but go ahead.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Shout out to Out of Bounds over on YouTube for talking about definitely that fire feud between Samoa Joe and CM Punk. So you're absolutely correct on that. That was
yes. The Summer of Punk was something very significant within the history of Ring of Honor, and is what led to Samoa Joe going over to Impact and CM Punk going over to WWE. They even the whole CM Punk John Cena saga was based on the Summer of Punk between him and Samoa Joe in Ring of Honor. So that tells you the influence. That tells you, you know, WWE is always good for biting shit, and they definitely bit the apple hard on that one. Yeah, so to start off, we'll go ahead and since she brought them up, Samoa Joe and CM Punk, two names that are on my list. I also mentioned Daniel Bryanson. It's Bryan Danielson, I should say.
Yeah.
And you know, being that he was one of their major champions at the time, and he was the one who unified the Ring of Honor World Championship and the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, which ended the Pure Championship until Jonathan Gresham was able to restart it and pick it up. So yeah, very significant in the history of Ring of Honor. We also want to talk about Nigel McGuinness, who came over from the UK and made a big splash in the world of professional wrestling through Ring of Honor and earned his bones in the United States with Ring of Honor. A name that is synonymous with the early 2000s period as far as starting off different organizations. He started off Impact Wrestling. He started off Ring of Honor. He started off Pro Wrestling Guerrilla on their original rosters. So shout out to the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
Yep.
You know, did the same thing with AEW. So he's pretty much the founder because without his presence on a lot of these beginning cards, beginning rosters, these folks wouldn't have like the legitimacy that they had on their rosters to actually say, oh, Christopher Daniels is on their roster. Let me check this out. So shout out to him. And the last name I'm going to bring up is a man who's right now dealing with a lot of medical issues, but in the beginning stages, like in the first year, 2 years, he was one of their mainstays and one of their gatekeeper pretty much for Ring of Honor. And that was Jimmy Rave. And he's going through some things right now. And there was a actual article that I read where the people were talking about Ring of Honor and whatnot. And it was like, if Ring of Honor was to have a Hall of Fame, who would go in first? And a lot of people said Jimmy Rave, and they said that for a reason. So shouts out to Jimmy Rave, and I hope you get better with your medical situation, and hopefully you'll be able to talk and let us know what's going on with you and keep us up to date as to what's going on with your situation. Now, going into the top women. Now, the women's division didn't really start until 2017 when they introduced the Women of Honor Championship, which actually, believe it or not, was a world championship because not only was it defended in the United States with Ring of Honor, but it was also defended in Japan under the Shimmer flag. Right. So, and a lot of Shimmer wrestlers were coming over in a relationship with Ring of Honor to help build up that division. So there were only like 4 champions under the Women of Honor title run, of which the mainstay, Sumi Sakai, who's the one that's synonymous with the belt. She held the belt for the longest at 251 days. Then you had Kelly Klein, who had the belt, who actually won the belt 3 times. She beat every other champion every time they won it. So Sumi Sakai won it initially. She beat her for it. Then you had the next name I'm gonna bring up, Maya Awatani, who came from Shimmer, came over and won the belt for a while, for about a few months. Kelly Klein took it from her. Then I'm going to give an honorable mention just because she won the belt. It was only for 15 days, but Angelina Love, who you know from Impact Wrestling and the Beautiful People, she had it when she started up her knockoff version of the Beautiful People with Mandy Leon called The Allure.
Right.
And I'm going to bring up Mandy Leon now because, I mean, she started out as a ring announcer and a backstage analyst, an interviewer, and then wound up getting into the ring and whatnot. And she's been one of the mainstays for the women's division since she started actually her in-ring stuff. So I'll go ahead and give her a shout out too. And the last person I'll bring up, which she was the one who pretty much was, she was wrestling, but she was more behind the scenes as far as developing and putting together the women's division. And that's someone that's in the WWE now doing the exact same thing and has been for a long time in the independents, and that's Sarah Del Rey.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah Del Rey was a mainstay within the independent scene and was winning championships. Any organization that had a women's championship, she held it. Right. And she was just a badass technical wrestler that could go, men or women, with a man or a woman. So shouts out to Sarah Del Rey as well. Now into the tag teams. You can't even mention Ring of Honor and the words tag team without saying the Briscoes.
Yep.
I mean, absolutely. They were there. The Briscoes were represented on the very first show in Ring of Honor. They were both supposed to be on there, but Mark was too young to wrestle in Pennsylvania. So they wound up having him not wrestle, but he wound up wrestling like maybe a week or two later. But so he's one of the originals there. 11-time World Tag Team Champions for Ring of Honor. So, I mean, like I said, I look forward to seeing them out in the wild and doing their thing. It's already got started in Game Changer Wrestling, and that was a crazy match too. If y'all haven't seen that match on the War Ready pay-per-view that they did recently, you need to watch that match because I mean that match was they tore it up on that match.
That's some of the highlights on YouTube, aren't they? For that match,
I'm not sure if it's on YouTube, but you can try to look it up. It is on Fight TV because they do show all their shows on Fight TV
or something.
It may be. I'm not really sure, but you can check that out. The next tag team I'm going to give a shout out to is the Kings of Wrestling, which was Claudio Castronelli, who you all know now as Cesaro, and Chris Hero, who was Cassius Ohno in NXT. So those guys, man, this tag team is what led them to the WWE. This tag team is what made WWE look at them, and they were good. They were great. They were good individually, and they were great together. And I just hate that WWE didn't put them together, except for that one house show where they didn't even do anything. They just were in the ring, and everybody in the arena popped because the Kings of Wrestling were back together again in a wrestling ring. So next up, I'll mention Red Dragon. Red Dragon, as you all know, is Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
Yep.
The former members of the Undisputed Era. When they got in, I mean, it was magic in a bottle when they put them together. I mean, from the start. I mean, you got them winning titles left and right. You know, you got just two technical wrestlers that just meshed, like they were born to be together. So, I mean, and the rivalries that they had all over Ring of Honor and just in other organizations back when they could do that, it was amazing just to watch them. And I appreciated them if nobody else did. Now, another mainstay within the earlier years of Ring of Honor was it was a faction actually, but this was the only legitimate tag team that they had come out of the faction, and the faction was called the Age of the Fall, which was led by Jimmy Jacobs, who you all know now is one of the producers over at WWE, and Tyler Black, who you all know now as Seth Rollins. So those two were in a tag team together. They won the tag team titles one or two times, but they were just that heel faction that everybody had to go against.
right.
and had to prove themselves against. So, they were a definite mainstay within Ring of Honor and building up that tag team division and stay in the start. But one of the main tag teams that really put the tag team scene of Ring of Honor on the map was the Second City Saints, which was Colt Cabana and CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know y'all may remember that they were best friends at one time, and then they had all of that stuff that went down. After the interviews that they did on Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling show or podcast. Yep. So I'm hoping that now that they're in the same company again, I'm hoping that they get back together and they hug that out because
we still haven't seen them in the same.
You haven't seen them together at all. Yeah, you haven't seen them in the same place at all. They haven't mentioned each other at all, and nobody is talking about them at all. But
at all.
I'm hoping that they're able to work that out and get that back together. But some other honorable mentions that I want to bring in before I end up everything here is as Perry said earlier, El Generico and Kevin Steen, or who you know as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Right now, the WWE. Those two guys, whether it was against each other or whether it was a tag team together, they were just it was crazy. It was crazy.
Every single time.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the WWE has them wrestling so much against each other, because it's always going to be right.
Yep.
I don't care what kind of
they just feel it.
Where it is, what kind of combination it is, you put them two together, it's going to be right, period. It's going to be a great match.
I equate it to Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Doesn't matter what's going on, what the storyline is. They don't have to talk. They just know what the next.
No, they just get the ring and go.
Mm-hmm.
And they're to the point where it's almost like Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair, because they can get together before a match, meet in the middle of the locker room, and we say, remember that match we did in '92 over in Chicago the second night? Yeah, let's do that match. And that's it. That's all they need.
I agree.
And they can react that match. They can reenact that match just as they did that night. And unless you were there to see it or remember it, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yep.
Because it was just as good as any other match that they could have put out if they sat there for 15 hours and planned it out. Yep. So yeah, another group that I'll put together. And I'll make this a group within this one, because they've all tag teamed pretty much together. You got 4 guys, but it's 2 each that are in there, but that tag together regularly. But the foundation, you got Jonathan Gresham and Jay Lethal, who are, not that everybody said anything, they are the first Black Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. And you had Rhett Titus and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Now they're good, and not only are they good as far as tag teams are concerned, but they're good as far as pure wrestling is concerned. And back in the early days when they had the pure championship, and it was Nigel McGuinness and Samoa Joe and Bryan Danielson and all them, they never did pure tag team matches. They just did that with the new incarnation. So they're the ones who pretty much are leading the way with the pure rules tag team matches. So that's why I'm putting them on this list. And then also, as far as Rhett Titus is concerned, put him together with Kenny King, and you got the All Night Express, who was another tag team that was like a couple of mid-card guys who, were kind of struggling their way through, and they got put together, and it was like magic. It was like they were meant to be together. It was almost like the Hollywood Blondes with Austin and Pillman in that sense. So, I mean, it was that type of thing. So, I mean, they wound up winning a few championships, and they made themselves significant. They made themselves relevant. So, I mean, so for them to do that, it got to give them shout out. And then the last one I'll bring up is the Kingdom.
Mhm.
Now you go back, and I'm going back to the original Kingdom that was led by Adam Cole, baby. And we're talking about Matt Taven and Michael Bennett.
Mhm.
Now, these two guys were great together. And this is a stretch, but I can, in a sense, compare them to Tully and Arn. Only because of their chemistry and the way that they mesh together, and just their wrestling styles together. They worked the body part. They knew how to double team well. I mean, it was to the point where not only did they have the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, they went over to New Japan and had the New Japan, the IWGP Heavyweight Championships at the same time, which is a rarity. There are only a few wrestlers that can say, and there are only a few wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling that can say that they held those two titles at the same time. Okay, so that's my list for those.
Let me ask you this, because you did a good job on pointing out a lot of the important superstars of wrestlers from Ring of Honor over its entirety, but for the talent that is, I guess we could say, currently under contract, if you had to name out a couple names, and where would you like them to go? Not what do you think or rumor mill or all that stuff, but really, where would you like some of this talent to go? If they had to just pick one home, I know they could travel around and go and defend and get belts and stuff like that and do all that. But if you had to put somebody somewhere, because I'm excited that a lot of the mainstays for Ring of Honor can actually go out. And that's something I've wanted to see happen for a long time. But, politicking and all that stuff, they decided to stay at home base. But now they're free, in essence, to do what they want to do. So if you had to send some people certain places, James, and even KG, you as well, because for me, my number one is always going to be, I'll still call him Black Machismo, Jay Lethal. I want him to go to WWE for the longest time. This is pre-AEW. But now that we have AEW, man, he could wrestle still some circles around some of their top talent. And to have, Jay Lethal versus Kenny Omega, that's a rocket ship in itself. But I just wanted to put that out there to you, gentlemen. Where would you send some of their talent if you had to send them one place?
Well, if you asked me that question a few days ago, I give you a different answer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I say that because I don't know if anybody knows this or everybody knows this or not, but Impact and AEW have ended their relationship as of Glory by Honor last Sunday. So I would have put everybody. I'd have split everybody up between AEW and Impact and let the chips fall where they may, But now that I have to make decisions, like you said, I'd like to see Jay Lethal in AEW only because there are a lot of wrestlers that are in AEW that were in Ring of Honor at the time he started, and I want to see the next chapter.
Right.
Like you said, him and CM Punk, right? Him and Colt Cabana, him and Bryan Danielson.
Mm.
Even some of these younger cats, like to see him with what's his name? Martin, the young guy, the 19-year-old.
Max, was it the one I just wrestled?
The one that's wrestling, the one that's been in the thing with Matt Sydal recently. Dante Martin, yeah, him. I'd like to see him, go see what he can do with Jay Lethal. Well, AEW has the folks that I want to see go up against Jay Lethal.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want any of them to go to WWE. Really, tell you the truth. But
I agree.
There are going to be some that are going to end up going. You know,
they better not go to NXT.
I see Matt Taven. I see somebody like Matt Taven in NXT, but I doubt he'll go because of Michael Bennett. Because Mike Bennett's going to be like, "Don't you do that shit." I'm trying to tell you, it's a nice check, but it ain't worth it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Him and Maria Kanellis are going to be like, "Nah, don't do it, dude. Don't do it." Let's see, who else?
What would you say to
There's some young cats that came. There's some young cats that have come out of the Ring of Honor dojo that would do well probably in NXT. He calls himself now the world famous CB, but he called himself Cheeseburger. I mean, he's been actually doing the training, running the dojo. You know, because he's 12 years in the business. He's been running the dojo for at least 8 of those 12, and he's been training people. You know, so for him to get over there to NXT or just have him in a developmental and try to bring some people up, and it'll be a different style of wrestling, because with him, not only was he in the Ring of Honor dojo, but he did spend some time in Japan, and he was trained some by Jushin Thunder Liger. Right. Jushin Liger even gave him the Shote open hand strike. So he gave that to him. So that tells you, what's up with him. But yeah, there are a few other young cats that. I want Gresham to go everywhere. I need Gresham to go to Japan. I need Gresham to go back to Rev Pro, Progress, ICW. I know what you said, but I cannot put Gresham in the corner.
I'm not going to do it in the corner. That's his boo. His boo's husband. Where would you like to ship him off so you can have more time with his wife?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He goes overseas and wrestles Will Ospreay for the Rev Pro Championship. Or he goes put him in WWE UK. Keep him out of the real shit. Put him in NXT UK.
Him versus Tyler Bate would be a couple good matches.
In England or whatever. Yeah.
Walter, yeah.
No, actually, you didn't hear about Walter?
He's going over to do a couple matches. Is that what you're talking about? Or that
Walter's about to get on the main roster.
Yeah. But I mean, I would like to see him in the UK against Walter.
Oh yeah. No, I need to see him in
he's out there touring.
I need to see him in a non-WWE event. Yeah. A non-WWE card and going up against somebody like Gresham.
But KG, this guy, the stalker extraordinaire, the Thriller. You be walking up on Jordan Grace. Where you gonna be tonight, baby?
Look.
On your Instagram.
Look now. Never do that again. Never.
That's a Thriller. Where would you like him, KG?
Number one, that's cold, dog. That's cold.
What? Cold.
Burying you.
No, it's not even that. The simple fact, that it's cold. Stalker extraordinaire. Really? Really?
Ooh.
See, I almost said something, but it's a family show. I'm gonna behave tonight.
Jake said all the time.
I don't chase him. I replace him. I'm a pimp by blood, not relation. Remember that. I don't pay pussy pay me. Remember that.
We know you trying to get on that.
I'm not trying to get on anything. That's a married woman.
More often. Well, they ain't stopped you. We know, stalker. Where would you like him to go?
We all got to pass down. Impact. Be with his wife, man. No joke. Because that could be. I agree with James. I don't want to see not near soul from Ring of Honor go to WWE. They're not going to be used right. They're going to be put down in the NXT and never heard from again. Their whole gimmick and everything they've known for that they built themselves will never come out to shine. WWE does not know how to take free agent talent and let them be themselves. You know, you come over and you're on a win streak because you know you're a big man. You wrestle strong style. They'll have you lose to Rey Mysterio your first match.
Hey, no disrespect to Rey Mysterio.
No disrespect to Rey Mysterio. But if I'm 7'5",
I'd say Dominic. Mysterio.
No, I say Rey Mysterio because if I'm 7'5", 360 pounds of pure muscle, and I'm destroying everybody in the world, but I come to WWE and Rey Mysterio beats me handily. Yeah, that's very unbelievable, but that's WWE's MO these days. They believe in breaking down talent, and anybody from Ring of Honor that comes in, if Jay Lethal went to WWE, which I never wanted him to go to WWE, I never really wanted him to go to WWE because they wouldn't let him be him. They wouldn't, and then Flair was a little too old for them to strike up that feud that I've been dying for. Jay Lethal goes to WWE. You know what's going to happen? They're going to turn him back into the Black Machismo. He's evolved from that. Granted, I would love to see it for a little while, but they're going to have him running that his whole entire contract. He got a 5-year contract. They're going to have him running it for 5 years. Black Machismo. And it's going to get old. It's going to get stale. Then you're going to take Xavier Woods. That whole thing with King of the Ring, you're going to turn him into Consequence Creed. Now you got Lethal Consequences again. It's another rerun of TNA. Nobody needs to go to WWE. WWE needs to figure out what the fuck they're doing with their life. Because right now it ain't it. Let Gresham.
I tried this week, KG. I really, really, really tried to watch Halloween Havoc. But all those colors, all I thought was Batman versus Robin. Go back and watch that movie and look at all the backlighting throughout that entire thing. The greens, the reds, like, oh my God. It was like, why? I'm cool with the logo. I'm cool with the entrance. But the rest of the I don't even know what they call it now. Arena. It's just too cartoony.
I think they still call it the Capitol Wrestling Center.
That's how much I'm not even paying attention to it right now. Like,
you know what I see?
But no, let me ask you this. When at the beginning of the show, when they had Chucky talking about the Braun Breaker versus Ciampa match, they had Chucky talking about it. Did you notice that he called Braun Breaker the puppy face gremlin?
Mm-hmm. They're giving him just enough of his lineage to keep him relevant for the smart fans. But
yeah, they got the barking instead of calling his name.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he has the potential to move up quickly and get out of that, a pipe bomb moment, and embrace the Steiner. So they could transition him in and have him be a Steiner if they allow that to happen. That's the only way I can see him going to WWE is he pipe bombing NXT. Like, I'm tired of this crap. I'm a Steiner.
He forgot to holler if you hear me in.
I know. But the only time that may happen, just for putting butts in the seats, remember, because the Hall of Fame, we still have to have one this year, which I don't know how they're going to work that. Correction. Batista's the only one that's transitioned over, so he'll be the headliner. But when they finally decide to put the Steiner brothers or Scott Steiner in, that's the time that breakout moment will probably happen. But that's only to put butts in the seats. It's not about, feelings, or we don't even really care. They just need the money.
Wait, here's a question. When did WWE stop caring about lineage? When The Rock came over, he was quote unquote the blue chipper. first, third generation athlete in WWE, and they played that his whole entire career. First,
the last time they cared about lineage is pre-passing of Owen Hart, in my opinion. That's when they was really deep into the lineage. The Hart family, that's the Hart found all that stuff, the dungeon.
But wait,
that lineage they talked about like it was the gospel. And then
because
after
remember Charlotte
convenient.
Charlotte.
Well, that's only when it's convenient. Charlotte came in like, well, we have another Flair. She's younger. We can play up on that. Look at Roman. Hey, let's go ahead and lean into this this head of the table thing. We can work with that.
But think about this. Look at how many on the roster that you have that have some sort of, they come from a great wrestling family. You got the Usos, Roman, Flair, Orton. And with Orton, Rhodes, DiBiase, the legacy. Right? That could have been huge.
Only when it's convenient. That's what I'm saying. It's only when it's convenient.
But it could have been huge.
That
should have been way bigger than what it was.
It sold up T-shirts, but
they buried them. They buried once they couldn't figure out what to do with it. They buried them, and then and there,
they couldn't figure out to do with all three. They knew what to do with one of them. Randy Orton still had the rocket on his back,
of course. And
it's everybody else that still had to play catch up, but that's only because of evolution and everything else.
But the thing is, it was a fourth. I can't remember who it was at the time. I'm old and I'm drawing a blank, but it was a fourth, second generation.
Yeah, I want to say it was he related to Snooker?
Was it? I can't remember.
Remember, it was a fourth member of Legacy. He was a Samoan. I want to say he was related to either Snooker or Alpha or Seeker, one of the two, one of them.
But they could have made
he was like second, third generation wrestler too, but he just fell off the wayside because he just didn't fit.
Right.
I mean, it just the aesthetic. He didn't fit.
But the thing is, you could have made a fourth, and they've lied about legacies for the longest. Who's related to who? You could have made a fourth. That would have been your stable, your young stable to be up and coming. To possibly, okay, Orton leaves, you bring somebody else in, you got Evolution versus the Legacy. You do something there.
When was Stasiak wrestling around that time?
You said who?
What is Stasiak's son wrestling about that time?
I don't think so.
Not somewhere
close. What's his name? Sean Stasiak, Mark O'Hare? Sean O'Hare and Mark Stasiak.
Yeah, it was Jin.
They used to be the Natural Born Thrillers in WCW.
And Stasiak, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I just look at it when it's convenient.
No, I'm sorry. Sean O'Hare was with the other guy. He became Marco Corleone in AAA. Mark Jindrak. Yeah, Jindrak, not Stasiak. But there was.
Stasiak was still there.
Stasiak's son did wrestle in WWE.
Yeah.
And I want to say he was wrestling around that time of the Legacy.
Quite possibly, but he just didn't fit, and he just fell off quick. They tried to push him, but he had the look. It's just the personality wasn't there.
Look at the talent.
Ted DiBiase Jr.
He had the look.
But he ain't had a personality.
That's why you should have got them a mouthpiece.
Not everybody should be under Heyman.
You don't have to be under Heyman. You could have put them with a mouthpiece.
That was a mouthpiece that could make you look way better than you could back then, and that was Heyman. That's all they had. I mean, name another one. Who else?
Well, you saying back then? I'm talking about I'm trying to name anybody, but I see what you're coming at. I see where you're going at.
Well, they would have had to go outside of WWE to find one. Now there is one. There is one going back to Ring of Honor. There is one that could have worked, and his name was Bruce Martini. He was the guy who managed Jay Lethal when Jay Lethal had both the Ring of Honor World Championship and the television championship. That was his manager. He also managed Matt Taven when Matt Taven won the what was that tournament? The Survival of the Fittest tournament or something like that. But it's a tournament that they have every year for up and comers, and at that time, everybody that was winning for like 2-3 straight years was coming out of Massachusetts, up in that area. And Matt Taven was one, and that's how he got built up. And he was under Truth Martini at that time, because Truth Martini was a manager of champions for a while. You know, he was real good, and then he just fell off. I'm on his Instagram page, and he's talking like he might be making a comeback, and I hope he does. I really hope he does. To see him in the independents and managing again, because between him and Malcolm Bivens and the guy that was in ECW with the Dudleys, damn, I can't think of his name.
Not Bill. Alfonso was with RVD.
Joe Gertner. Yeah. Well.
That's who needs. He should have deserved his own special.
The best 3-minute promo in wrestling. I don't care what you say. Just like Cyrus said, I am the bacon in your eggs, the man for who she begs, and the face between her legs. Okay. It is I, Joe. The ladies call me Fred Flintstone because I can make their bed rock. Gertner.
Yep. The icing on the cake, so to speak. So thank you, Sumo, for your That's Us Nubian, the tribute to Ring of Honor. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. KG?
I got something for just to throw back to Nubian Sumo, because we talked about this at length over the time that he's been here. You haven't been here, but we talked about it, and it's one of the things that I go to calm my granddaughter down. Yesterday was his anniversary. 36 years ago, the greatest promo ever cut. Dusty Rhodes' Hard Times. 36 years ago yesterday. I'm sorry, 35 years ago yesterday, because that was 85. 86. No, 86. That was 86.
Yeah, I think that was 86.
Yeah, that was 86. 35 years ago yesterday. The greatest promo of all time. Cut. And it's promos out there that get close to it, but nothing can stop it.
Nothing will ever.
Nothing can stop it or top it. And see, she all smiling now. She pop.
We're going to have to start paying her now. We have to start paying her.
Say hi.
When she gets her own contract.
Well,
she can't be on mine.
I'm not cutting nothing off the top of her.
Obligated to do one thing, and that's hit the button.
Say hi. Say hi. Somebody ready to go to bed. Let me hear you walk around.
She's live in color now. Look at them big old eyes.
Hey, I can put a nipple on this if you need me to.
Nah, Jack. Nah, go on to your uncle. She ready to go to sleep. She ready to bust out and go to sleep. See you later, Meatloaf.
So now that we done appeased the folks looking for the cute factor, hit the button.
PWI Women's Top 100. Actually, want top 150.
Yeah. This is the first year of the 150. Yes. And when it started, it was only 50. Right. Then 2018, they went up to 100. And now, as of this year, it is 150.
Wait, that's not the button you was telling me to hit.
Don't do it.
Well, I was talking about the ticker, but if you want to talk about that button.
No, you wasn't talking about the ticker.
Come on. We look, we already at an hour. You got 10 minutes. Let's go.
Oh, you got somewhere to be?
What?
You got
How
somewhere
in
to
the
go,
whole
man.
hell?
Of course, I got somewhere to be.
Yo, you hit the button? I just want to
No.
know before you cut me off.
No, come on.
We believe in good
PWI Women's
segues here in
100.
this show. Good segues here in this show. So we're only going to talk about the top 10 since you only got 10 minutes. I guess that's a minute a person or a minute a female
being
wrestler.
that I could only being that there's no the whole list isn't out for some reason like the other two were. You know, they only gave the most I've seen is the top 10. So
I know who's number one.
Oh yeah, we all do.
We all know who's number one.
That's interesting. We're going to talk about that if that is too soon or not. But number 10 is Raquel Gonzalez. How you guys feeling about that? You think she's putting enough work in NXT? Her body of work is strong enough to put her at the beginning of the top 10?
No.
No?
No.
Top 10?
Let me see who the other 9 are.
No.
Let me see who the other 9 are.
Well, number 9 is Tam Nakano. So
she's out of Shimmer.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Ahead of her at number 8 is Io Shirai. She's definitely deserving of being in top 10 for everything she did. Now, James, this one I'm going to need you to pull into your bag of pronunciation. At number 7, Suri is how I would pronounce it. S-Y-U-R-I. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's it.
Ooh, you've been rubbing off on me, man. God dang, I can go ahead and take over that Sis Nubian and talk about New Japan now. I get all the names right.
Look at that, a gold star for the People's Choice, Don
Yeah,
Rodriguez.
wait, hey, KG, wait till he gets to number 2.
I know, right? I looked at that and I was like, well, should I put this in that Sis Nubian or not? This is where we start getting into some speculation or some consideration, because there's a couple names that are not on here that you would think with where they were in the business, or you could also say where they are in the business right now. Why are you not anywhere between 6 and 1? And that's going to be interesting for where they fell, because they're also not in the top 10. So at number 6 is Sasha Banks. Deservedly in the top 10, I would say so. Number 5, Thunder Rosa. Number 4 is Britt Baker, DMD. Number 3 is James's boo, Deonna Purrazzo. Number 2, Utami Hayashihita.
Excellent.
He went to Google to figure that one out.
Well done.
Well done.
Google, how do I pronounce this? Hey, look, don't feel bad. I do it all the time.
Ask James. And number 1 is Bianca Belair. So from 6 to 1, I'm not going to try to utter that again, but that's Sasha, Thunder Rosa, Britt, Deonna, Utami, and Bianca. That's your top 6, with Bianca heading the table, so to speak. Sorry, Roman. But no Becky Lynch. No
She didn't
Charlotte.
wrestle.
Well, you have to remember this goes from October the 1st of last year to September 30th of this year. So she was out for most of that.
Yep.
Yeah, but at the same time, should she still have been a part of it? It's not like she was out injured.
She was okay. She didn't listen to the breastfeeding episode.
Her body of work and what she's done. Now she did had it. She was number 1 last year, right? In 2020.
Yes. Yes.
But look at the run she went on in 2020. Look at that run that she went on from headlining WrestleMania, Becky 2 belts, that run, and she didn't really fall until
she had that
Seth Rollins
belt.
proved. Well, yeah, Seth Rollins proved that he couldn't pull out of a driveway.
But he said they weren't.
But again, But again, we're talking about a time frame. She already got her flowers for last year. So
look, she didn't need.
She already got her flowers for last year, so she already got credit for all of that. So
that's
it. I was just curious. Like I just wanted to see what you guys thought of it because you factor in COVID and everything else. Leading up to
now,
it,
for me,
it was red hot.
For me, I don't really know about Hashishita. Okay, I'm not really sure about her. I'm not familiar with her wrestling, so just personally, I would take her out. Now, granted, she's been a Shimmer champion for a long time, and the girl that's at number 9 is her main competitor. Yeah, that's her main competitor right now. So so they're going back and forth for the belt, but she just hadn't gotten over on Hashishita yet. But I would still give her credit and bring her down to 5. Now, as far as 1 through 4 with the rest of the top 5, you can make an argument for all of them at number 1, in my opinion. You can make a serious argument for Deanna. Britt has been doing her thing, straight up. Bianca,
she should be number 2.
Bianca, I mean, the second Black woman to get number 1 in this in PWI women's list. The first being Awesome Kong in 2008.
Yeah.
I was going to see
you got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
But like I said, all of them have
for getting inducted into the Hall of Fame
for her retirement, and getting into the Hall of Fame with Ring of Honor or Impact. Yeah, no doubt.
Now I am mad at them because that shouldn't have been a pre-show for her and what she contributed. That should have been mid-show. She deserved to be.
Yes, mid-show. Definitely. She should have been on the. She should have been on the main show.
That was disrespectful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No, you crazy.
That should have Listen, hear me out. That should have been its own show. Period.
Well, they're not there yet. They're not WWE.
Yeah, plus, they only get one. They only get one person. They only do one person a year.
That's fine. But she should have. She is to Impact what, dare I say it, Hogan was to WWE during the golden years.
I pretty much agree with that.
That's a stretch. I mean,
it's a long shot.
That's a stretch. I wouldn't say Hogan. Savage? I would say more Savage.
Okay. And that's still a big contribution.
The Hulk Hogan of that era in the women's division was Gail Kim.
Well, if we're talking heel versus face, yeah. But for impactful impression, I would say Awesome Kong.
I prefer.
Gail Kim was amazing, but when Kong came out, she elicited a reaction that was ridiculous. And throughout, you saw that woman come down. You knew something was about to go down. Somebody was going to get old school Mark Henry. Somebody's going to get their ass kicked. Somebody's going to get their
like 3-minute warning.
Yeah, you got about 3 minutes. Oh man, rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace. But what do you think Charlotte should be top 5? Because she was putting in work.
No.
Why not? Now we're going to talk about
putting in work, but she was putting in the work. But
she's still the best.
I'd put her top 10
in the WWE.
I'd put her top 10, but not top 5.
Okay. Well, she's not even top 10.
Yeah, well, she probably be number 11.
Yeah, that's what she didn't even put her in that. Like, really? Because if we're looking at COVID times and what was going on, where was the WWE on the female side without Charlotte's promos?
Where were the WWE without?
Where were they without her being the heel, being the queen, putting in work, coming in her little pantsuits and all this stuff, taking off her shoes, kicking people, doing all that? While Becky was gone, she picked up the ball and carried it. While
But
everybody
didn't she
else
get
was
hurt
figuring
too?
themselves out and Bianca was blossoming, Charlotte was right there being the consummate pillar for the women's division, in my opinion.
But didn't she get
Yeah,
hurt too?
she did get hurt for a while. Yeah. Plus, she had that.
Just a little bit, but I mean, she was during the time period that they were
she had to get out for that surgery. You know, she got. You know, she lost a couple of the midgets.
Yeah, but so they shunned her for that.
No,
Like
it's
when
not
turned
that.
sideways, we
No,
only
I don't
could
think they
see
shunned her. They didn't shun her, but you know,
But she
it was
didn't
noticeable.
And
she
the
didn't
thing is,
wrestle, yeah, for a while.
She wasn't that consistently, but she did enough in that time period to still be effective.
think about this. You're
That's
coming
just,
off a
that's
year.
just me. For
Hold on.
somebody that goes by criteria, Killer Bees.
Oh Lord. You coming off a
Well,
year.
if we're going by criteria, you need to remember, or you need to read one of the articles that gave what the criteria was. One of the criteria was cultural impact.
Uh-oh. Run. The bank
So,
will explode.
what cultural impact did Charlotte elicit to get into the top 10?
That is also the same thing as to why the Road Warriors were number 2 in my list.
They weren't number 2, they were number 10. Stop lying.
I was trying to help you out. I know you didn't remember, but I guess you did. You're still bitter about that. We're gonna revisit that show one day. One day.
Well, I mean,
he kept that book just because he mad.
I mean, we did do the men's. We did do the men's. We're doing the women's now. We haven't touched the tag team one. So I mean, tag team PWI list.
Yeah,
so,
that's a whole different beast right there. Let's throw
did you see your boy B. Brian Blair on Dark Side of the Ring this past week?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it. Go ahead and go from 10 to 1, KG. What was the who was it? Nobody can see that. Chickens can't even read that scratch.
Oh, you can read it. All-time tag teams from 10 to 1.
Did you write down the criteria? Did you write down the criteria?
Wait. According to Don Rodriguez.
Allegedly. Did you put down the criteria?
Hold on. The views expressed in this list do not represent the Sideline Junkie Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs. They represent the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez.
Yeah, keep me out of this. I wouldn't even around with this one.
What was the criteria?
You never told me the criteria.
I said it during the show. Like
you said, you said and you think I'm supposed to remember something from 3 years ago exactly because I'm still outraged that LOD wasn't number 1.
Hold on. You just whipped out a book from 3 years ago and pulled it up. But yeah, and you wrote down the list, but didn't write down the criteria for the list.
That was a 2-week show. I wrote down everything from that show, just not the criteria.
But the criteria.
Look,
the one job, the most important thing to remember, which dictated the list, you omitted.
Go ahead, KG. Don't play into that crap he pulling. He's just trying to stall you out. Go ahead, man.
What's number 10, KG?
Number 10, all-time tag teams, according to the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez. Number 10, Rock and Roll Express. Number 9, the Road Warriors. Number 8, the Midnight Express. Number 7, the Koloffs. Number 6, Rated RKO. Number 5, the Rockers. Number 4, New Day. Number 3, the Usos. Number 2, the Hart Foundation. And number 1, the Brainbusters. Arn and Tully. I'm sorry.
That's here in the Legion of Doom.
They were number 9, Road Warriors.
Okay, you said the Road Warriors. I was listening for the Legion of Doom. Okay, because
I called them correctly.
But
okay. So yeah, you called the right team correctly because there's a big difference between the Road Warriors
and the Legion of Doom.
Right?
Yeah, he called them the Legion of Doom. Now, but here's one. The top 5 stables. He had NWO as number 1. The 4 Horsemen number 2. My heart
criteria. The cultural impact. That was one of them. And I think what else? Oh man, it was so long ago.
I remember you saying what the criteria was. Cultural impact never came out of your mouth.
It did. It wasn't the word cultural impact. It was based off of their Oh gosh, their pop culture and their overall impact on pop culture and everything else. The Four Horsemen. I mean, Lord knows we all did this as kids,
But
and we
wait,
all
wait,
stomped
wait.
some people down when we,
That was
one
the
of our friends pissed us off. We just looked at each other and just stomped them real quick. But at the
that
same
was
time, the
twice.
NWO is still transcending merchandising sales. You know, sports teams and everywhere. And then they've taken the Too Sweet or the Wolfpack symbol over, and now it's Bullet Club for Too Sweet and all. I mean, the NWO is still stretching.
Okay,
The
here's the
most
thing.
influence we have from the Horsemen right now is when you hear the chop, you say woo. That's the
Bullshit.
number one thing that is transcended, but that is also Ric Flair.
Bullshit.
Here's the
That's
thing.
bullshit. Because
It's-
you cannot put together a faction without the Horseman formula.
But yeah, but that's in the business. I'm talking beyond the business. Just like Hogan, transcend the Rock, transcended beyond the business. They are bigger than the squared circle. Doing the yes chance, bigger than the squared circle. The formula for the Horsemen is always going to be tried and true, but that's only tried and true in wrestling. You're not going to find the formula in hockey, but you may get a Too Sweet if you score a goal.
Here's my thing.
Same thing. You may be at a rock concert. You're not going to see the floors being thrown up, but you may get a crotch chop.
But you had DX as number 10.
Huh?
You had DX the top 10 stable. They were number 10.
Yeah. And in comparison to, I mean, the Suck It was good, but the NWO was just on another level.
And you had the Four Horsemen twice. Two different incarnations.
On the
Twice.
Okay.
You had the Four Horsemen at number 9.
So where did he put the Oli version?
That should be higher.
That was 2.
That
was
higher.
2. That was 2.
That was 2.
Yeah.
And what the Lex Luger version was the lower one?
I think I lumped in Luger,
Lex and Mongo.
Benoit, everybody else.
Oh, the Benoit. Okay, the Benoit and Dean Malenko version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because me personally, when it comes down to Four Horsemen, the only Four Horsemen I recognize is Arn, Ole, Tully, and Rick. And I'll throw in Mongo because I love Mongo McMichael. But I swear I feel so bad for him.
But, Mongo was just Mongo. He was just entertainment. But
yeah,
Benoit and Malenko.
All right, that man's sick. That man's sick. Don't be talking bad about Mongo. That man's sick.
I'm a Steve Mongo McMichael fan. I lived in Chicago. Go Bears while I was there. But
while he was there.
While I was there, yeah. I mean, I represent the Bears while I was there, but come on now, it's Ravens all day. Winner.
But here's the kicker, and I think this is where our argument started when he said that Hulk Hogan. He named 25 top wrestlers of all time, and Hogan was number 1
for transcending the business. That's what put him over the top because
I get
everybody,
I get that.
Everywhere knew Hulk Hogan.
Rock was 4. Stone Cold was 5.
Knew the yellow
was Flair.
Flair was 2.
Okay.
And that
get past 1 and 2. I mean, that's Flair Hogan 1 and 2. I mean, that's a flip flop. That's
Flair
a point.
never went. Movies, TV, commercials.
You knew Flair.
He didn't have to, but that was the difference. Hogan was on that plateau of cosmic proportion. And when it came down to the influence on social media, pop culture, the generation and all that stuff, that's why I edged him out over Nate. Is because, like I said, you couldn't go anywhere and not know who Hulk Hogan was, period, dot. The impact of the business when Hogan pulled into the lot for WCW was astronomical. The heel turn to become the third man was astronomical. Those are just pins in history that you could reference or that is referenced all the time. But on the flip side, if you see a chop happening, doesn't matter who it is, that's Ric Flair. So that move is so tightly woven to the Nature Boy that it doesn't matter who does it for what move. You could be the biggest man, the smallest man, woman, whatever. That's Flair's move. Period. You're going to woo to it. And Lord knows, shout out to Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson this past week on Rampage, because Eddie chopped the shit out of Daniel Bryan and Bryan Danielson. He chopped both of them. You know that's bad when he chopped your ass for both personas. Because God dang, that should have been a crime right there. Like he couldn't even say that wasn't me. His hand is still embedded in that man's chest.
Wait, I don't know why, but it's like it's giggle worthy to hear the People's Choice Don Rodriguez say shit. I done heard him say motherfucker and everything else, but hearing him say shit is still giggle worthy. I giggle like a little kid.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Let's get it back on track and move on.
While we're giggling, let's take a throwback to the Chappelle Show and one of at least my favorite segments, which was when keeping it real goes wrong. So for those that don't know, there's a nice little situation not too long ago, which we kind of, I think we retweeted or I tweeted it or something like that. But Greg Hamilton, who was the announcer for SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
So he was the one, if you had to think of, and you can't put a face to a name, he is, when you hear Universal Champion and Roman Reigns when he comes out, that's him. You know, that's his call to fame is Universal. That. So when keeping it real goes wrong. So there's a rapper out there by the name of Gun of Griselda, Gun of Griselda. Or he's wrestling fan, Westside Gun of Griselda Records rapper, who had a sample of Greg Hamilton's voice and put it in the song. Now, it could have went one of two ways, just like that segment of Chappelle's Show goes. He could have said, hey, like Booker T, leaned into it. That's pretty cool with Bad Bunny. You know, I'm with that. You know, I'm a part of something. Hell, even for what was that? Jay-Z and I'm totally losing it now on the music side of things. You know that's bad. Jay-Z and Kanye. What was that? Was that in Paris? What was the song? When they had, you know what I'm talking about.
It was from Blades of Glory. We're going to skate to one song and one song only.
All right, whatever. So, you know, when they used a sample from the ice skating movie.
Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory, yeah. When they used that sample. Didn't have any issues with that. But Greg Hamilton didn't go with that. That's pretty cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate the respect. I know you're a wrestling fan and everything's nice. He went the other way. Oh, are you using my likeness without my permission, my voice, my intellectual property? I don't appreciate that, so I need you to get rid of it. I need you to take it down. I need you to do it by this day, or there's going to be problems. I'm going to get my lawyers. Then it escalated to, okay, you still haven't taken it down. You're still out there promoting it. You're still playing the song. You're either going to pay me for it, $20,000, and then we'll be good, or I'm going to get my lawyers. $20,000? He escalated to 30. And
what was the I haven't heard. I heard about it happening, but I didn't know why it happened. What was the sample?
It was just him doing announcing, nothing special. You know, it wasn't like him just talking in the background. I didn't get a chance to hear it yet. I was just reading the article. I was like, what the hell? And I forwarded it to you guys via Twitter. But, you know, he got the 30,000, and then it got wrong. Because then his next thing was, you know, yeah, I got lawyers, but then I could also go ahead and call Big Papa WWE over here, and they got lawyers that'll destroy you. And he got fired. When keeping it real goes wrong.
No. It was a mutual partner of the ways.
He deserved that. If he brought Vince into it, I mean, that's one thing if you're gonna threaten, because it's your shit. But you brought Vince into it, oh yeah, you deserve that.
Yeah.
You deserve that.
So that's why I had to call that. He kept it real, and it went real wrong real quick because I don't know. And this is his first time. I forgot to get a chance to go back and check, but he had said some side stuff about another wrestler at one point, and that had left the company, and he was just talking some mad crap. But then he had to rescind it because he was starting to get some pushback. But like, dude, this dude he popping off, going ham. But yeah,
like you said earlier, somebody gonna get their ass kicked.
Somebody and now he out here looking like a fool. What the heck you out here doing? Running your mouth and talking about us. We ain't got no beef with this dude. He out there. We just promoted Bad Bunny with Booker T. What the heck we going? You know what I'm saying? How many rappers?
Plus, that's free publicity.
Exactly. And now
that's free publicity to an audience that most likely is not watching WWE. So anybody that's into rap music is going to be like, I wonder where he got that sample from. Who is that? Oh, it's Greg Hamilton from the WWE. Let me check out his show and see what he's about.
Especially when they're trying to go a different way and court Cardi B. If they could have got her for SummerSlam to actually perform. Or, the Super Bowl this year is going to be on a West Coast rapper type of thing. Hell, Nate Dogg and Snoop just buried the hatchet from what I was listening to today. So you're muted, KG.
You're on mute. You're still on mute.
Nate Dogg is dead.
I'm sorry, Warren G.
Yeah.
Well, they could have buried the hatchet too. Hell, if you say a prayer or something, they've been talking at the church. Warren G. I'm sorry. Force of habit. Nate Dogg and Warren G. You are regulators. Mount up. Doesn't matter. That's just always how it comes out. Is Nate Dogg is going to be first.
Wait, hold on. Let me say it right. Nate Dogg is deceased. He's no longer with us.
Thank you.
I was told I had to say that nicer.
He out there in the low rider in the sky.
He's still my man's though. Hey. Smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every day.
now you made mention to a song earlier, and the song is it's on Watch the Throne. Jay-Z and Kanye West, Niggas in Paris, and the sample from Blades of Glory. I had never seen the movie before. It's a Will Ferrell movie, and I'm surprised I never seen it, but I never wanted to see it until I heard the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the movie a couple of times. It's a pretty funny movie.
Yeah.
It's provocative.
It keeps the people going. That right there. Yeah.
And that was a shock to hear that was put in there.
And nobody complained about it.
Will Ferrell didn't even know it was there. He didn't even know who Kanye was. That was out of his own admission. He's like, I don't even know who these people are, but okay.
It brought more attention to the daggone movie.
John Heder plays Napoleon Dynamite. I mean, he was more excited about it. He's like, wow, we made it into a rap song. That's pretty awesome. But yeah.
Yeah, folks love that shit. See how many songs that they can get in, mentioned in.
Hell,
they love
Lord
that.
knows Nate. Nate's what what you wouldn't even expect to Ric Flair going, woo, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell just happened? He over here just, I'm hanging with Offset. Like, what? Nate, you can just sit your behind down.
Hey, don't hate on the Ric Flair drip.
I'm not. It was just funny just to see him go from, over here and, Evolution to, he trap music superstar now.
Guess what? But how do you stay relevant? That's how you stay relevant.
Embrace it, lean in towards it, because the song was being made anyway. They just made a phone call and said, hey, would you like to be in a video? Nate's was like, shit, yeah, I'll take the check. Then he discovered there was going to be girls there, and everything is history.
Nate,
so what'd you say?
My thing is 20,000?
just to use your voice. I didn't even know who he was until he did all this. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
But hey, old boy, I'm sure old boys like appreciate you, dog, because my name, you done put my name out there now.
Yep.
Free.
Folks,
That song,
what's the motto? I gotta listen to it now, just to see what he was saying.
What's the motto? What's the motto? Controversy creates cash. And that was controversy is creating cash.
And also creates unemployment.
Hey, apparently, if you take it the wrong way, shoot, maybe we need to start doing that. See if we can get threatened with lawsuits and stuff.
I'm trying to do that with every show. I'm trying. I really am.
Shit. I know I do. I use samples
of a lot of different things. For the last, what? How long you been on this show, James? 2 years, 3 years?
But wait.
I'm starting to give up hope.
I got this sample that I've been using. It's a Marvin Gaye sample. I was told by my wife to not use it. I got it sitting ready.
Marvin Gaye's family has already set a precedent on what they're gonna do to you.
Yeah.
You better go talk to old boy's son. What's his name?
Robin Thicke.
Blurred Lines.
They got him for that.
Because they found another song. They found another song they're suing him about now, right? On that same album. They're getting him again. They getting him again.
But here's the thing, all he had to do to avoid that, give Marvin Gaye songwriting credits. That was it. No, all he had to do was give him songwriting credits.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Ask for permission. The songwriting credit would have been there. Look, I mean, it don't really sound like it, but it's close enough that now I need to come over here and be like, can I? And they'd be like, either yes or no.
You pay the estate.
It's all money.
You pay the estate. Things like that don't happen. You pay.
All they had to truthfully do is just sample any go-go song. And I mean, they all sound alike, so it's not like you could stake any claim to anything. Same beat. Too soon.
Well, if you want to be realistic about it, and I know I'm not hating. I'm not saying this to hate. I'm saying this because it is what it is. But in go-go, there aren't too many original go-go songs. There are some, but if you think about it, and if you listen, a lot of the songs that they do in go-go music are covers.
Yes, I agree with that. But there are a lot of original. There are a lot of original go-go songs too.
I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't. I'm just saying that there aren't as many as the covers.
No,
the covers outweigh the originals.
Like, okay, you got. We can start with Junkyard. You got Sardines original.
Sardines original, yeah.
Clap Your Hands to the Beat is original.
Yeah.
Oh, what else is Rough It Off is original?
No. I'm not saying you can't name any.
No, there's plenty of them. Yeah, because every band has their own signature song.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers. Before they were Chuck Brown and Soul Searchers, they was just the Soul Searchers. And they had albums.
Ashley's Roach Clip. That's one I've been playing that all week.
One of the most sampled songs in music history is Ashley's Roach Clip.
Man, I did the research on that. I heard it the other day.
Quite sure I heard it.
Oh, you can't help but hear it. You listen to Ashley's Roach Clip. As a matter of fact, I can name one song right now.
Say what? It's an instrumental.
It's an instrumental. There you
go.
All right, so here's my challenge. Take out what you just played and insert the same thing with the drum kit.
It's not the same.
Same thing.
But here's a funny thing. The dude that plays percussion on Ashley's Roach Clip used to work with him. One of the coolest dudes I've ever met. Like, when I tell you he's unassuming, like you wouldn't think that he played with Chuck Brown, because that's a big thing. Unassuming.
And once you get into the song a little bit, he has a solo where he goes, and and all that is thinking of a master plan.
Yeah, you got
And
Set
get
It
right
Ripple and
in.
Memory Bliss, Paid in Full.
Yep. Yep.
Run's House. What else? Girls Around the World by Lloyd and Lil Wayne. Man, it's so Jack the Ripper by LL Cool J.
Yep, Jack the Ripper.
It's so many samples. Like they have a list on Spotify of all the samples. Like I haven't even got all the samples yet. But if you've ever played Grand Theft Auto 5 and you've listened to The Lowdown with Mama G, Pam Grier. Oh, I still love that woman so much. Oh, I love me some Pam Grier.
How can you not?
Oh my God. I've loved her since I was 16 years old.
She's I used when I was back in Atlanta and I had my smoker circle. There was this old man who used to see every woman that he used to like. He's like, damn, she is lo-fi. And he said just like that with the breath and everything. He be like, "Boy, young buck, did you see that over there? She is lo-fi."
Love for Pam Grier. Now she's on Grand Theft Auto 5. She's Mama G. Ashley's Roach clip is actually on that game. Almost every Grand Theft Auto game from I'm gonna say Vice City on features a go-go track.
Yep. Same beat.
I'll give you another one. Bob James, Nautilus. Listen to Bob James and the song Nautilus. First song you're gonna hear in your head is Daytona 500 by Ghostface. Now, the very first song that because I heard an interview with Bob James on YouTube once, and they were talking to him about all the samples that he used that song. And other songs that he has that he's put out. And he was like, the first song I ever heard was from Run DMC. And I heard it and I called my lawyer. We listened to it. We was like, yeah, we need to do that. And we couldn't do anything. I couldn't get any money off of that. Wow. But ever since that song came out, ever since that one, I've been paid on every last one of them since.
you know, because back in the 80s, you remember everybody used to sample James Brown, Otis Redding. They used to sample everything. Those artists never got paid. And then once they put the law in that you have to pay for it, everybody started getting paid. But it was more of it wasn't like I'm gonna rip this because I can. No, it was more of this is the music I grew up on, so I'm gonna pay homage to the music. But nobody thought about paying, everybody else. But now you got that, man.
It only happened in radio.
They would change it so much, or they would slow it down, or they'd chop it up, or they would take such a small piece of it. Like they would strip down the song to just find this one little part of it. Just enough that they could work with on a loop.
I got one for you.
And they work with it.
What song does the Thong Song sample?
By Cisco?
That's a sample.
Yeah, I know it's a sample, but the Cisco ain't got nothing original. He can't make music. But damn, that's a good question.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
If I tell
I got the song in my head. I got the song in my head.
I mean, how could you not? It's the Thong Song. Dumps like a truck.
You give it up?
Technically, this is those songs that get stuck in your head once you start thinking about it. Thanks, KG.
That's right. It's a good song to have stuck. The sample is Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Really? The song was actually written for the beat was actually written for Michael Jackson.
Right.
And what happened was they played it and they put it away. And then I think Michael Jackson chose something else. And Cisco was trying to do his debut album. He called Tim and Bob. and they had it stacked away. They sent it out to have the violin is actually a accomplished violinist. So he plays on it, and they took it, they looped it, thong song's born. Now, granted, it was written for Michael Jackson, but not as a thong song.
Maybe it was.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine Michael Jackson singing about a thong song, but okay. Okay.
Maybe some little boy tidy whities, but not thongs.
You know what? We really just ran off the rail.
Not going there.
Allegedly, yeah.
We got one more segment to hit. Let's get it.
Come on, Bubbles. Come on. That thong. Come on.
But you know something? Somebody brought up a real good point. They said you ever noticed that Michael Jackson? No, you ever noticed that Michael Jackson just walk into a room, yell, and start shit, then do a whole song?
He did a whole song. Going to be starting something. He told you what he was going to do.
He walks into a room. Look at the video for Rock My World. Hey, don't do it, man. And he started a whole bunch of trouble, and then, but he always he starts trouble and gets the girl.
Look at him bad. He walked up in there, just started on the dude, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? You know, he gyrating and stuff. Next thing you know, we're gonna have to cut this dude because he looked kind of suspect. And next thing you know, he just busts out with it, like, you know, when keeping it.
You saw how John White was like, fuck that shit, right? He's like, yeah, y'all get at the Wesley. I ain't doing that shit. You ain't kicking my ass on TV.
But the thing is, he wrote Bad as a song that was supposed to be with him and Prince.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. You seen that video at the interview?
Yeah, and Prince was like,
he said the same thing. He's like, I'll be damned if you go. I'll be damned if you go. I'm gonna let him kick my ass on damn video.
But he said, I'm not singing a song that start off with your butt is mine. He said, I'm not singing that
too. But we're also talking about Prince with, you know, arguably the most famous pants choice ever. So that's kind of ironic.
But he can get away with that though.
Huh?
He can get away. I mean, come on. You got the fluffy shirt, the tight pants with the ass out, and he wearing heels and can pull any woman he wants.
There it is.
He can do that.
The only dude I know that can wear 5-inch.
Good.
Only dude you know can wear 5-inch stilettos and pull your girl.
Right.
Pancakes. What was that?
Not your bitch.
Did you see that interview with Jamie Foxx where he was like, I couldn't look at him?
Yeah.
Foxx was like, you're just too pretty. He was talking to me, and then, you know, I looked at him and it was all over.
You ever see the interview that DMX was talking about him? DMX said he was in a club and he sent security over to come get him. And he walked over there and he's sitting in the corner. They had corded off the back of the club, put 2 tables down, put tablecloths on him. He said, X, come here. He sat him down and he asked him, he said, do you own your masters? He said, own your masters, you own yourself. He said he kicked nothing but straight game. They supposed to be in there partying. He kicked straight game to him. How to navigate through everything. And a lot of people say, well, Prince was so mean because he asked me did I own my masters. I said no, and he wouldn't talk to me. He's telling you, go get your masters. But people didn't take it like that. DMX was like, I was blown away because it was Prince, but he's sitting here kicking game. We supposed to be partying. He said, man, I didn't even want to party no more. I just wanted to hear what he had to say. That was Prince. That was Prince.
Yep. And on the flip side, Hammer was a gangster. But that's a whole nother story.
Allegedly.
That's a hell of a tagline right there. I got to say. Charlotte Gone Wild. Remember those days? Since we talking back in the day, where you would turn on the TV at about 2 o'clock in the morning and all you saw was maybe 40 commercials back to back of Girls Gone Wild?
Yes, Lord. Made me want to go to Mardi Gras every time I seen it.
Mardi Gras, Florida, Daytona, your backyard, who knows, depending where you live there.
I was about to say, how y'all leave out Freaknik?
Freaknik back in the day. Oh my God, I wanted to live at Freaknik.
Stories for your ass there, buddy. Let me tell you, boy. Remind me to tell you the story about Greenbrier Mall.
Oh, I got. everybody involved in the Nick back in the day is so lucky Me Too movement didn't exist.
Boy.
Period. Period.
Ooh, Lord.
Atlanta will be a different place. That's all we got to say. But since we're talking about going wild and maybe getting a little nicky, a little full of themselves, or as the old heads used to say, smelling your own piss. Charlotte has, I think we talked about this last week, did we? About the title changeover that was,
Yeah,
you could call it a
we talked
botch,
about
or
it.
you could call it miscommunication, or you could call it, I don't want to do it this way. Bret Hart throwback to the screw job. Charlotte saying, I don't like the way this is going down because it's diminishing my title reign. And the kayfabe is dead. The script called for Becky to grab both belts and give the impression of Becky 2 belts before handing the other over. Charlotte wasn't really having it, so as Becky was reaching out to grab Charlotte's belt at the time before they switched over, the handoff didn't go too well and it dropped on the floor, which we know at any given time, unless it is approved by Vincent Kennedy, is a no-no. It does not get dropped. He treats that concept like the American flag in war dropping to the ground. You don't do that. It doesn't happen. Whoever is close by better make sure you grab that flag, and that's where everything, pardon the expression, just went to shit. Charlotte has to get escorted out because Becky still got something to do later on that night. All at the same time, Andrade El Idolo is tweeting out FWWE. Charlotte's going to go down to Andrade, who is doing his thing in AEW that night. So there's all kind of different combustible elements that goes together, but at the same time, more stories are coming out and people are praising Becky for standing up to Charlotte, which is interesting because they were friends and they were close and they were travel buddies and 4 horsewomen, all that stuff. And others are coming forward talking about how unbearable Charlotte has been as of late. But in her own defense, she's saying that no, I just want to give the women their due because she did go and approach about SummerSlam saying that she thinks that Bianca should win the triple threat and not her. So now they played nice. So it worked out for this past Friday. But it's rumored that she had a heated conversation with Vince that did not go too well. And, she was pondering just saying, I'm done and rolling out if she could contractually. So what's your thoughts on Charlotte gone wild? Is there, just something that you think is just pushing her? Do you think she sees like greener grass at AEW and she could do something? Do you think she feel like she's peaked and she's not getting the respect? Why all of a sudden would you hear about her going all diva? I guess is the best way to put it. Oh, anybody? Yeah,
I don't know. I might steal James Thunder with this one, but think about this. When you work with your significant other and your significant other gets fired and moves on to a better company, you're trying to hold on to your company, do your thing, still in love with your significant other. But it's getting to the point that you're seeing the handwriting on the wall. You can't up and quit because of contractual obligations. But if you can, get yourself fired. You get fired. There is no 90-day compete clause. You get fired. You're done. She can go to AEW, be with Andrade and Dad.
Tomorrow.
And they will use her really, really fast. Because
she'll be Ashley Flair in a heartbeat.
There it is. That's what, if you think she's being a diva and she's gone wild, look at the hand. She sees the handwriting on the wall. Look at the actions. Think about that in terms of a job. Don't let them fire you. Well, I'm sorry. Don't quit. Let them fire you. That way you can collect unemployment. in her sense, don't quit. Let them fire me so I don't have to worry about a 90-day compete clause. I can go right back to work. She could pull a Rick Rude. She can be on Raw on Monday, and then come Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, there she go. She on Rampage or Dynamite, whichever one. Shit, she can be on both. Now, what would be crazy is if she showed up on Raw, NXT, and then she showed up on Dynamite, and then showed up on
Rampage.
On Rampage. Now, if she made the rounds like that, because she not getting, by SmackDown being live, she not getting SmackDown. Now, if it was still the old days where they recorded SmackDown on Tuesday, and they did SmackDown and NXT on Tuesday recordings, and she showed up on all 5 shows, oh yeah, she's a damn gangster. But that's how I see it. That's the handwriting on the wall. I'm sorry. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to let you fire me. And once you fire me, the hell with you. I'm gone. You fucked me over for the last time. Vince has to stop listening to people that are not wrestling people. Listen to your superstars. People that have grown up in the business, know the business. These are not just run-of-the-mill people. When it comes to wrestling, sports entertainment, I don't think I know it all. When I got something that's on my mind and I can't remember it, I can't find, I don't want to go online because I know online is going to give me the runaround and I don't want to hear anybody else's opinion. Who do I come to? I come to you two gentlemen. Because I know straightforward, y'all are going to know what I need to know. Now, if I take you two gentlemen, put you together with Perry and Raj, I think y'all probably know everything in the wrestling business. Because Perry told me something I didn't know about, the WWF title back in the 80s, Backlund not really being that good. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know Backlund wasn't that good. Everybody considered him a god. But these are the things that I'm talking about. I don't know these things, so I go to the people that do know. The greatness of a leader is having people around you that are smarter than you. Vince has to do that. He has a wrestler that's smarter than him right now. Hey, this is what we should do. This will go over. Listen. But he's about to lose another superstar. I just went on this rant just to say that he's going to lose another superstar because she sees the handwriting on the wall. Thank you very much.
James?
What's left for her to do in WWE? Nothing. She's won the tag titles. She's won both of the women's titles. They're not doing anything with the 4 horsewomen. I mean, they're still trying to put them together because they're the 4 best in the division outside of Bianca. And once Bianca beats Becky, she's gotten all of them. So she's got Andrade in her ear saying,
Spanish.
Why? Why are you still there? What's left for you? You're not gonna win the Intercontinental or the United States belt. What other belts are there left for you? What else is there left for you to do? You've been in a Hell in a Cell. You've been in Royal Rumble. You've been, you've headlined a WrestleMania. What else is there to do? It's time to move on.
Threshold. She's got to go in the books as beating Flair's record.
She can do that. She can do that outside.
She can do that anyway.
Flair has that title because he won in WWE, NWA, WCW.
But
he didn't just win all of those in the NWA or WCW. So she can go elsewhere and still beat his record if that's what she wants to do. Hell, they may not let her do that.
Yeah.
The only reason why they haven't done it with Cena is because Cena actually said, "I don't want to beat his record."
Right.
So, that's why he's tied with Flair right now. But who cares? She can go somewhere else. She can win the AEW belt.
But
She
the
can go to
problem with
Impact, win the
AEW
Impact belt.
there's not enough talent at her caliber. It would be the same thing in AEW.
It would, but look at all the new challenges she would have in AEW.
I'm with that, but I just don't want her running through and pulling a John Cena where she's beat everybody. But
that's what she's going to end up doing.
Yeah,
anywhere she goes, she's going to be the best in that division. It doesn't matter where she goes, she's going to be the best in that division. It doesn't matter where she goes.
But I want her
so
to
it doesn't make a difference.
I want her to have challenges as well. Like Bianca Belair is a challenge. And she understands.
You saying Britt Baker won't be a challenge?
I'm not saying that she won't, but that's the only one.
And Jordan Grace wouldn't be a challenge?
Jordan Grace isn't an AEW.
She's an
Impact.
I'm just saying, anywhere she decides to go, she can go to Ring of Honor and restart that women's division when they get back.
She could. I just want to go somewhere where there's enough talent that it's believable size-wise, match-wise, tenure-wise, and capability that it's just going to be instant classics. Like we talked about earlier, where you just put two people together. And it's
Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, Nyla Rose, Jade Cargill. That's 4 right there in AEW. She go to Impact. Who you got in Impact? Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace, Tennille Dashwood, who she's got history with. I could even see her with Rachel Ellering.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
If she goes to Ring of Honor, if they restart Ring of Honor, they would have to build a division around her.
Right.
So they would have to bring in people that would be comparable to her.
Or maybe she could do a Japan run.
Yeah. Go to Shimmer, go to Stardom. Take some time and go over to Japan. Why not?
Or
but
AAA.
She can do that in W.
She could do some AAA action because Lord knows she's getting a lot of tutelage from Andrade because she pulled this move again this week as homage. The moonsault off the top. I forgot who it was. She was Shotzi rolled, and then she ended up doing a backflip after. As soon as I saw that, I was like, there he is again, still in the WWE making moves. So, she's got options. We'll have to see exactly how they're going to play this out.
And then imagine this. She goes somewhere. She appears for the first time. She's cutting a promo. And then all of a sudden, here comes Tessa Blanchard.
Now that would be a matchup.
I like that.
That would be a matchup.
That would be the perfect time for Tessa to come back.
Yeah. And to get her dad involved. And to get
both the dads involved, have them in the corners. Make Tessa Blanchard the newest member of Pinnacle.
Speaking of newest members, have you guys heard about the rumor that the Usos was kind of teasing that there could be a female member of the Ones?
Yeah.
AKA Naomi.
Or Nia.
I think Naomi.
It's more so Naomi. It's more so Naomi. And they leaning toward that with this thing with Sonya Deville.
Yep, she's gonna get fed up.
I can see Nia getting in there too.
Yeah.
KG? If either one of them join, who do I see about my money?
Same person you need to see about the Thunderdome.
Okay.
And
Special
the
announcement.
24/7 championship.
Yes, indeed. Special announcement. Coming from myself, the Nubian Sumo, because he needs to be paid too, and the People's Choice Don Rodriguez. Speaking on behalf of those two gentlemen. Either pay us or pay the Undertaker.
Well, Undertaker getting paid all the time.
I ain't talking about that Undertaker. That's my motto. When I'm owed money, pay me or pay the Undertaker. Come on now. Which one you want to do? You want to pay me or do I got to come after you? If I come after you, it's not going to be pretty.
Well, Paul Bearer said, wrap this up, B. It's almost Halloween.
Man, you got about 45 minutes.
Of what?
Till Halloween.
I'm just checking. I'm going to say, we got to stretch that long? God dang.
No. But speaking of which,
not yet. Don't play it yet.
No, I'm not talking about that. I need to make an announcement. I need to make an announcement.
Make it.
And I need to say this because I know my mama goes back and my mama listens to this.
Hi, mama. I'm sorry, mama.
This is 30 years in the making. My mama owes me a trash bag full of candy. I've set out my demands. I'm going to change locks to her house, and I'm going to kidnap her house. Until my demands are met, I'm going to kidnap her house.
That's all you need.
Now, are we talking about a trash bag that will go in your bathroom, or are we talking about a trash bag that you use in your yard for leaves?
No, I'm talking about
what size are we talking about?
I had a contractor's bag.
The size of when I came down there to Atlanta to stay, and I went through TSA and everything. This big ass trash bag of Raisinets. That's the trash bag size we talking about.
Look, I'm not lying to you.
Grand opening candy table. And what are we gonna do with all these Raisinets? I'll take them.
I'm not lying to you. This is Halloween 1990. I went trick-or-treating, me, my mom. We went over in DC. And I got all this candy. We got home. Mom's, of course, she separated, went through it. Gave my grandmother a little bit, gave my sister a little bit. She took a little bit. Mom's always got to take tax. I understand that because I do it to my kids. I take taxes. Matter of fact, they got candy in here for tonight. I got to tax that candy. I got mine. She took the rest of it. It was so much. She took the rest of it. She tied the bag up. She put it in the freezer. We had a big stand-up deep freezer. I ain't seen that bag of candy in 30 years. We done moved about 6-7 times. I want my candy, damn it. I earned that. I've made my demands. My demands have been made. I want my candy. I want my candy. I want my doggone candy. She says.
Now, okay, we've established what size bag. Now, yeah. What kind of candy are we speaking of right now? Are we talking about the razor blade apples or
no.
We talking about Cheeto sticks?
No. She knows
what are you talking about?
Raisinets, Kit Kats, Crunch Bars, Hershey Bars, Crackles, Mr. Goodbar, but mostly Crackles. You can keep the Mr. Goodbar.
Are these the fun size, or are they like the joints, the regular joints?
She can mix it all in for all I care. Because back then we didn't have fun size in the early 90s, 80s and 90s. We didn't have fun size. We got full size. And if you had money, they gave you king size. And the king size is really king size.
Mm-hmm.
So, she could throw some Twizzlers in there. Like, it's king so much she can throw in there.
Will fill you up. For real.
So much she can throw in there. But to be quite honest, it's a joke. But I love messing with my mother about that every Halloween.
One day she'll give you a frozen-ass bag of candy, and you can be like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Just hope she don't hit you with it.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. You got to realize, my mother is the only woman that I know. She's the only mother I know that ever suplexed her child. My mom suplexed me before. And she did it so smooth. I was just messing with her. And I said, Mom, give me a piggyback rack. She said, okay, come on. Man, I went to go get her. Man, she flipped me over and just boom. I'm like, oh, I'm looking up at the stars, man. I'm like, damn. When I tell you, I used to wrestle with my mother, and my mother used to get the best of me. I'm strapping, young football player. Nobody got the best of me. I mean, I was outside putting people in abdominal stretches, torture racks, all that. Nobody was getting the best of me.
Your mama hit you with the Mae Young special, huh?
Man, my mother used to give me the goddamn business. And then she said, "Keep
wait
playing with me."
You said she said you were on her back and she flipped you over like this.
Yeah.
And she noble drive with your ass.
Yeah. she swooped like it, man.
She hit you with a blue thunderball.
No. The woman is amazing, man. The woman is amazing. Look, every chance I get, people think I be playing. Every chance I get, I be like, man, like she's done some wild stuff. And I know I can't mess with her all the time, but I love to mess with her about this candy. I love to mess with her about different stuff when I was in high school. I just love to call her and just mess with her. Like, I remember something from high school, and I've been out of high school 22 years. And I remember something from like junior year. Or shit, I remember stuff from freshman year. And I've called her on the phone, like, hey, you remember this? She'd be like, no. And I refresh her, remember, like, yeah, you owe me that. I'm coming to collect tonight. When I get off work, I'll be over there to collect. Doggone shame, I don't never get none of that stuff, though. But it's okay. Hey, it's fun to talk about, though. It's fun to talk about.
Yeah, statute of limitations is all over on all that shit.
Wrap that shit up, B.
Well, that's my story for the night. Hey.
Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully you have enjoyed our pre-holiday Halloween episode. And YouTube land, definitely feel free. Like, subscribe, ring the bell so that way you know what time we come on every Saturday, so that way we can give you an eargasm of crazy. If you're welcome. If you're listening to the podcast side of things, you know, as always, at our home on Anchor, and you can listen to us Apple Music, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Your Mama Cast. If it has the word cast at the end of it, you can probably find us there. Just put a prefix on it. We're there. So make sure you listen to whatever cast and follow us on those platforms as well. We appreciate you taking the time out to listen to us go on a tangent once again that this time Sumo wanted to participate in. Interesting. Last week, y'all need to write this out. I ain't talking about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why y'all just did the rest of the show. I just wanted to point that out. It's nice and quiet for about 35 minutes of him thinking of a master plan over there, just going in, having flashbacks.
I wasn't getting in on that Real Housewives and Love and Hip Hop crap y'all talking about.
Wait. Ain't nobody talking about no Love and Hip Hop. That's the worst show on TV next to Basketball Wives. Both of them need to be taken off TV.
No, you know what the worst show on TV is? Teen Mom.
Agreed. No argument for me.
None of that crap.
You pregnant again?
It shouldn't.
You ain't even a teenager no more. Why are you still on TV?
Wait, no, 16 and pregnant. That's another one that needs to be taken off of TV.
Like, what are we gonna aspire to do? Well, if you get pregnant, you get on MTV. Okay, let's do it. Like, what? Close second to that, the challenge. Like, what we gonna do this week? Y'all you wanna join challenge again? Like Challenge 85, they still coming up with a little contest for them to do on MTV. I'm like, really? How about y'all play some music on MTV? But shout out the ridiculousness. Keep playing that.
Yes.
Nah, yeah. You know what? I told y'all I'm over here with Raj and his wife and whatnot, and she be watching some crazy shit, right? So she likes to watch 600 Pound Life.
Let's not talk about that.
I'm just saying. It seems like everybody that's on that show got a love interest.
Yes.
Everybody on that show is married or has a girlfriend or boyfriend or something. So, folks,
stop going to the gym and eat them nuggets. Eat them nuggets.
Somebody's out there for you now. You know what they say, everybody's got somebody. Somebody's out there for you. Don't be discouraged.
Exactly.
No matter how many zeros
If
is
they,
on
if
that scale,
folks
you
on
got
there
shot.
can get somebody to actually sit there and take care of them and love them while they rolling around in a bed immobile.
Yep. And as the old
Can't
saying
see
goes, I got
nothing.
mine. You can get yours.
Can't see nothing past their chest.
Man,
As soon as they go down 20 pounds, I got legs. Yep.
man,
TV.
it's crazy.
I miss
It's
the
crazy.
days when it turned off. I know that sounds bad, but it's just something about how you learn the Star Spangled Banner because they play it every night.
That is true.
That was school. They played it every night.
Every night.
You heard it like, well, time to go to bed.
Oh, and just because they shouted us out so well on their last show, of course, we want to talk about Straight to Tape Tuesday nights, 8:00. They gave us some really big ups on their last show. So I appreciate that, Perry, and everything. So shouts out to Perry, shouts out to Rob, shouts out to Tico, and since he tried to steal my thunder a little bit, let me do this the proper way. Hey, Keisha.
I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to fly you in. I ain't stealing nothing. I'm
Hey,
trying to
my
fly
way
you in.
works. My way works. My way
We're gonna
works
really do
whether you know
the
it or
proper
not.
Hey,
So
Keisha.
my way works. I
We're
proved
really
that.
gonna
I
do the
proved that
proper
on the
Hey,
last
Keisha.
show. You were there. You listened. They shouted you out. The last
Yes.
we talked about Straight to Tape. My man Raj just walked in. Y'all missed Raj. You went to a wedding today. That boy was casket clean. You wanna hear what I'm saying? All we had to do was lay him down and close the door. That's what I'm saying, man. That boy was casket clean. Well, hey, that's up to you, bro. No, we almost done. We shutting down. We gonna shut down a minute. But one more thing I wanted to bring out. I got a friend of mine in Atlanta. His name's Terrence. He started his own podcast. He's on Anchor. He's on with Anchor, and he's on Apple Podcasts. He has a podcast called Members Only Podcast. He just dropped his 6th show here this past week.
Okay.
They talk about cigars and bourbon pretty much, but they also get into life lessons and things of that nature. They talk about relationships and things of that nature, just regular life shit. So I want to shout out my boy T, and you have y'all go to check him out. And again, it's Members Only Podcast with T Sachs, Ish, and Shy. So I did a thing for a couple of days where I listened to their whole all 6 shows. Very interesting, very thought-provoking on some of the things that they talk about, some of their opinions on life and relationships. And then they go into cigars that they're smoking and things and bourbons that they're drinking. So it's kind of like the same thing I do. He was my mentor. He was the one who taught me my palate when it comes to cigars and bourbon and whiskey and whatnot. And he's very knowledgeable as far as those things go. So I would suggest or advise that you all check him out too. And just wanted to put him over on here too. So good shit, as he likes to say. Good shit.
Most definitely.
Sounds good to me. Well, that's the big guy KG. That's the Nubian Sumo. On a People's Choice. Last but not least, Halloween is only 32 minutes away, so hopefully everybody is safe. Trick, treat. Normally we would say diversify your bonds and konnichiwa, but I guess since we can only use this one time for one night until next year, we're just going to leave you with a nice, swift button press.
gotta give me fucking. Good night, everybody.